How you guys doing? I'm gonna need your help. I went and I listened to a program, the Pagan program, and it talked. One of the speakers talked about wheat. All right, it's a plant, and the spirit of the wheat, and the wheat kingdom. All right. Now, I do believe in diversity, and I do try to keep an open mind and listening to others speak of their belief system, because I always find it interesting. I try not to be critical of others, because I am critical of the person, not what they believe. But when you almost sound like you're deifying every element or everything around you, I find it kind of odd. And in that respect, I'm just trying to have understanding, if not clarity, on the subject. I heard so much about. I listened a good 10 minutes of the show, and I was just like, oh, I gotta get out of here, because even though it may not be what I believe in things, the way the person was talking, it sounded like, every blade of grass and every straw of hay had its own little magical kingdom type thing. I mean, and that's how I perceived it when I was listening to the speaker speak. And I'm thinking to myself, this is getting, to me, it's too, it's not elemental anymore. To me, it was too fluff bunny-ish, or too out there for me, and I think it tapped into a level of spirituality that was almost nonsensical, at least to my eyes. But I just want to know what other people thought, on that. It blew my mind, I mean, I'm going to tell the person they're wrong for thinking that. Nah, I mean, everybody has. I mean, I deal with over 60 religions, so for me, there's no right or wrong. It's just how you find your balance, your particular way of doing things. And but I found it kind of funny. It was almost like you couldn't walk anywhere without. My perception is you couldn't walk anywhere without offending something, right? So, that's where I came with it. It was a funny and odd program. I didn't even stick around for the end of the first section of it, and they had a second half. They call it Witch School. I'm trying to understand what is they're trying to teach, and where are they planning on, going from there. Again, it was weird. The whole program was about wheat and the wheat spirit. I'm just trying to figure out what's next. Before you eat an apple, do you have to praise it? Because the apple goddess will say something. But that just, again, it's just an outlook. It's just a perception. I just thought, how bizarre. That's all. And the reason why I think it's bizarre or strange or odd is it's totally out of my element. It's totally out of my perception, my perspective. And I think that's what makes it more interesting for me, just to learn. But, then again, sometimes a lot of things that may be nonsense, maybe it just is nonsense. But that's always perspective. It's always perception. I think sometimes, in a lot of the forums I deal with, you can have 2 points. You can have what we would say is opinions. Opinions are not facts. And in my fighting element in my paradigm, you have to present the facts, you have to show resources, that kind of thing. Now, if someone has an epiphany and they want to worship a duck, more power to you. But how is that a part of the general consensus of things. I think that's where I'm coming from with it. With this. You know, I mean, is it within your paradigm? Is it within your construct of what you label yourself as? And does the collective agree with you? Or you know, or do people just share their spiritual status by lecturing about a certain level of spirituality that may seem a little different? I don't know. Like I said, it's an observation. I'm not criticizing the person for believing in something that, you know, I mean, that's their thing. That's what they believed. Yeah, that was kind of different. I don't know how else to say it. The wheat spirit. Spirits of grass. Grass has spirits. So every time I eat a fucking cornflake, there's a wheat spirit in there or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's just an observation. I just, you know, I scratch my head at a lot of the shit that I read and hear and see. I had one lady named Val. She was from the Pacific Island, and she has a Hallmark holiday where they would present maybe flowers or cards now, but they used to, it was a recognition of their old volcano gods. Well, then I understand. You're in a Pacific Island, you got something that blows up at you, melts shit, and yeah, there you go. But a wheat spirit. I don't know. So I'm calling this Ode to the Wheat Spirit. Because I don't know what the fuck this person came from and what they're doing. But I figured I'll talk to the pagan community. You know, hey, neo-pagans too, because yeah, sounds like something New Agers do. I don't know. So, please, don't beat me up too bad. Just share with me what you think of this thing I was listening to about the wheat spirit. I mean, I found it interesting to a point, but you know, after a while, I was getting my analytical objectivism came into play big time. I'm not a spiritualist, so when you have people out there spiritualizing inanimate objects, I think that's where my hang-up was. And you know, my opinions can be a lot brash, but again, that's usually on a person, not on a belief. But I don't think a wheat spirit thing was a belief. I think it was someone's epiphany, and they were discussing it. Just the perception of where I'm coming from with it. But please chime in, explain to me what you thought if you heard the program, or what you think by hearing what I've been saying. Opinions I'm interested in. Only reason, it's not, it's not like a tattoo. It's not fact. It's not something we know through a process, So anyways, I appreciate your time. Take care. Bye for now.